Set up. Alright, today we're going to be discussing the role of money and financial intermediaries. So first, we have to define the two. Money is just the currency that we use to make everyday purchases. It's what we use we take out loans to receive money. We can put money in places. We use it to make our purchases. Financial intermediary is, for example, a bank. It could be a credit union, somewhere where you can borrow money from or put your money into. So firstly, to discuss the roles of a financial intermediary, you can put your money in it, and they don't just keep the money in a vault somewhere locked away. They use the money, they loan it out to other people or other businesses, and it keeps our economy growing. The more money given out means our economy is usually growing and GDP is increasing. So for example, one thing money influences is our interest rates for our loans. So as you can see here, with money supply as our x-axis and interest rates as our y, as money supply increases, our interest rates decrease. Meaning that if there's more money supplied, loans are easier to acquire, which means interest rates can be lowered. These interest rates are influenced or are decided on by something called the Federal Reserve, which is a piece of our government. So a way to break that down is if the interest rate is decreasing, more loans are taken out. And if more loans are taken out, that means that there's expansion in our economy, GDP is increasing, businesses are expanding. Secondly, we can look here, and the more fulfilled loans there are, meaning money demand is the same as money supplied, and the money supplied is the same, we can see our GDP increases. That goes for the other side of the coin. If loans are not able to be fulfilled, if there's not money demanded from the economy, people don't want loans, or they can't afford loans, or maybe the banks don't have the supply to give out these loans, there can be problems which can cause the economy to crash. For example, we have the housing crisis of 2008. Here's a flowchart here. But it started with banks. They gave out too many loans for too low of interest rates. And so people who couldn't afford these loans, they began defaulting on their payments, which means that they couldn't pay back their loans. So obviously, if the banks aren't getting their money back, then they're losing money. They can't afford to keep giving out loans because there's no money supply for them. At the same time, people are going broke because they're defaulting on their loans. They can't pay back loans, which means the money demand is also low. If money demand and money supply are both low, the economy decreases. So as you can see here, fulfilled loans, they decreased, causing our GDP to also decrease. So pretty much this affects things such as inflation, interest rate. If it's lower, inflation slows down because more people are purchasing things. And pretty much those are the roles of money and financial intermediaries. They affect how much money is supplied into our economy. They affect things such as employment rate, because jobs are able to hire more people if they have more money. And it affects our GDP as a whole.